Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game. I'm here on, I believe this is, actually I don't know what this map is. Hold on, let's go ahead and reload it. So let's restart the replay. Hopefully it will say Last Refuge 1.3. This is going to be between Lucifer and Storm. My apologies to you guys yesterday. I was planning to cast more games, but my jet lag finally caught up with me and pretty much took me out for the count. And I only got to cast one game for you during WarCraft Wednesday. But then again, it was a pretty nice long game. I think like close to over 30 minutes. So a really fun game. Anyways, let's take a look at the game here. It is going to be Lucifer spawning as the Undead player over here on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Storm playing as the human player. So Undead versus human here on Last Refuge. And the strategies are most likely going to be pretty fast creeping. Now, it's been a while since I've cast a Undead versus human matchup, or I believe so. And we'll see what the strategies are going to be. Normally, I would say it is going to be an Archmage versus a Death Knight, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it was a Mountain King first either. So Mountain King or Archmage most likely will be a Death Knight coming in from Lucifer. If it isn't, I would be very surprised, as I don't think I've seen any other hero beside the Dreadlord, and that was on Twisted Meadows when you really wanted to utilize that sleep and blight advantage to clear out a red creep camp early. Death Knight will be added. We are going into that Mountain King. 2 strength heroes, very beefy heroes, will be coming out. And now Storm has a number of options for his second hero. I start mentioning the second hero now just because it is most likely that there will be 2 heroes. He can either go for Paladin or Blood Mage. Both of them are very strong hero choices as they complement that Mountain King very well. Paladin being able to keep that Mountain King alive, Blood Mage using that as a mana battery strategy to deny mana for the Death Knight and the Lich and give it to that Mountain King, making that Mountain King so much more of a problem. You can see that I believe the Footman was taken, or the Footman took down the Acolyte. Unfortunately, the Mountain King did not get any experience there, as we now see the Ogre Magi and Ogre Mauler now coming in to take down this Scout Tower. Interesting play there, as the Militia looks like it will get taken down, and now this one Scout Tower will be taken down. Very nice play by Lucifer, essentially sacrificing one Acolyte to take down a Scout Tower, and I believe that may give some experience to the Death Knight. Did it? No, that was only the Peasant that was killed earlier, so only Guard Towers give experience, not Scout Towers. Mountain King now wandering out. Will he get off a Stormbolt? No, it does not. Mountain King is rather a little bit weaker, since it did do a little bit more creeping, and we should see a Ghoul now try to come in. The Ghoul, interestingly enough, has the backpack upgrade, so we could see a Tomb of Relics being placed down sometime shortly, as we should already have one. Was it built off over here? No, where is it? Was it? Huh? Okay, he has a Rod of Necromancy. And there it is, back over here, Tomb of Relics. Normally I'm looking for it in the front of the base. So far, we're going to see a little bit of a dance back and forth here. The Mountain King are going to be going up against 4 skeletal minions. The Footman now already backing off, and by Lucifer taking down that that Scout Tower, that early Scout Tower. Now there are no arcane towers out, so the skeletal minions can cause a lot more harassment. The Death Knight just seemingly sitting off over here, going to be enjoying the fact that the Mountain King cannot really go out to play, as the skeletal man is still dancing around. Oh, the Death Knight was trying to get off I believe a Death Coil onto that lower hit point Footman. The Footman is now engaging the Skeletal Warrior, now chasing after a lower hit point Peasant. Meanwhile, the Death Knight once more running away, and what will be happening here? The Death Knight still dancing back and forth. Rock Golem pretty much denying any more experience, as the Death Knight looks to be coming back in. Halls of the Dead now upgrading. We are going into some Crypt Fiends. We should be getting in a Lich momentarily, as the Mountain King already getting off a surround onto the Death Knight. A perfect surround. Wow, Lucifer losing his Death Knight really early on, and this could be the beginning of some bad news. The Mountain King now perhaps just going to simply wander off to the north, knowing that there is no real way. Nope, Mountain King looks like he's going to be trying to do a Militia clearing of this expansion down here at the 5 o'clock position. Ogre Magi's and Troll Trappers, nothing compared to an army of Militia, and a Mountain King sitting at level 2. Troll Trapper does fall here. Ogre Magi will fall as well. What item will be given, as the Mountain King gonna really benefit here and perhaps start setting up some more towers? Ring of Protection +2, not altogether that useful. perhaps will be sold for 62 gold later on. Crypt Fiend now coming back over with some ghouls, and there is a Stormbolt on a Crypt Fiend. The Crypt Fiend very low. Nope, not going to be that low, as we now see that the Crypt Fiend's trying to focus down that Footman. The Footman now down to 45 hit points, as we see Essence of Blight, but badly placed. So Lucifer having a very limited amount of Blight to fight on. That is a bad news here, as the ghouls are taking some damage. Ghouls and Footmen trying to engage some Skeletal Minion, and oh, here comes another possible surround. No, a Skeletal Minion was able to block it out. Mountain King now trying to come back in. There's a Death Coil on the Death Knight from the Death Knight. The Death Knight now trying to get away. There's a second Stormbolt, and this could be bad news. Down to 98, 77 hit points. Is it going to be able to get away? Down to 35. Death Coils his ways through. And wow, beautifully played there by Lucifer. No, the Death Knight coming back in, now sitting up to level 2. Is it going to get Stormbolted? That could be bad news. The Mountain King down to 58 mana. It doesn't look like it will get taken down. More Skeletal Minions coming out, and this is huge. A Skeletal army. The Mountain King could be coming back in for a Stormbolt at any second. The Death Knight trying to stay on the Blight to stay alive. Now once again coming back in once more. The Footman down to 46 hit points. 23. A Death Coil could have kept it alive, as we now see some Militia coming in for the surround. Mountain King Stormbolt. Death Knight really walked into that one. Oh, Death Pact to stay alive. A huge play there, as Lucifer is doing a great job with a smaller army, but it looks like he's maybe overstaying this game a little bit too long. More Skeletal Minions once again coming back in. The Mountain King does not have enough mana for a Stormbolt. And wow, some more Militia will get taken down. Lucifer sitting at level 2. Mountain King sitting at level 2 as well. Storm trying to get any advantage that he can, and it doesn't look like any advantage will be coming in, as the Death Knight now getting very close to level 3. There's the GG from Storm. Alright, so a 6-minute 40-second game, and I know that game was rather short, but I cannot stress how close that game was. Lucifer really played that extremely well. I cannot stress that enough. He did every small thing right. He did every major thing wrong, but he did every small thing right, which is the reason why he actually came out ahead. The Blight, using it on water, the Blight can't show up. If Lucifer actually had a larger area for that Blight, Lucifer's Death Knight and Crypt Fiends would have been much higher on hit points, as they would have had more room to move around. But Lucifer using Death Pact and sticking around just long enough, getting experience, getting the Death Pact, Death Coiling, and doing every minor thing right there really gave him that victory. I can't stress that enough, as the Lich would have been coming down. I believe the Lich was already being trained. I didn't have time to go back to it, but that was extremely well played by Lucifer. I can't stress that enough. Go back and watch it. That was one of those short games that really showcased a lot of skill from Lucifer. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for Game 2.